What's up, y'all? Knight's Edge here again. Got another little quick, decided to do a little something different. Show off the packaging that comes with it, unboxing slash review, whatever. It's basically an overview review of the knife. Just decided to put the packaging in with it, and I've definitely carried it and already unboxed it and everything. I actually did that on the live, but figured, some people have asked me, well, why don't you just show the packaging that comes with it? That could be like a little extra, or whatever. So anyway, before we get into it, I wanted to say appreciate everyone that's joined Patreon. I've got it linked down below, as you can tell in the intro. Got a Patreon now, and really helps out the channel. Anything that you donate, any whatever membership tier you get, they're all the same, and everything goes towards the channel and kind of shipping or trying to get more knives for content, and I really appreciate that. Also, this one is linked down below, and I do have an affiliate link now with BladeHQ, so I was pretty excited about that. They finally approved it, and this one will be linked down below. They're actually on sale right now for $1.99 on BladeHQ, which I think, without being impacted by it, I would still think it's a great deal. These were going for 300 plus when they first came out and everything. So anyway, before we get into it, just wanted to get that out the way. But this one, now that I got all that out of the way, this is the Chaves 229. You got a nice little fold out package there. I'm pretty sure it comes with a I think the package originally came with like a pouch for it, and then here is the snack, and this is the little extra clip in case you don't like the Chaves skull clip. They include those along with it, so that's good. But I always like Chaves logo. This thing looks pretty cool to me. A little skull key, pretty neat looking thing. Ultramar, and this one is the Redencion 229 kickstop Tanto with G10 and black PVD coating. So anyway, that is the package there, and this is the knife, Chaves 229 Redencion. This thing's really cool, man. I carried it for a little bit. Got a couple of negatives about it, but there are definitely a lot of positives about it, and it is a really super duper cool knife. It's got that Lee Williams kickstop. Kind of definitely a newer thing to me. I've never handled another knife with it, so I thought it was really neat. To my understanding, it's been on a couple of other knives, one or two other models, maybe. Not 100% sure on how many or how many different companies or knives it's been on, but this one also has a thumb stud version, and when they put the kickstop on, I knew a lot of people were really excited about that. I think it's like last year or something like that. So anyway, go ahead and get the specs out of the way. Overall length on this bad boy, if you're going from, put it up here, going from the tip of the blade all the way to the end of the handle, you're looking just a hair over 8 inches overall, right about 8 and 8 1/8, right at 8 1/8. Overall blade length on it, if you go all the way back to the handle, you're looking right at 3 3/4, and cutting edge on it 3 1/2. Now it is a Tanto, so you do kind of get dual edges here. After a couple of sharpenings, that will turn into a drop point or a straight back or whatever. But yeah, it does have that and that, so it's got two different edges there. So 3 1/2 altogether total, and just for the heck of it, we'll measure that. That's at 1 3/4 right there, and that edge is right at 2 inches. All right, double check that. Yep, got 1 3/4 there, and on this one you got 2 inches. So 3 3/4 cutting edge altogether, right? Even though when you measure the overall 3 1/2, kind of like an optical illusion, I guess, with a Tanto, But anyway, I thought that was pretty neat. Get out the old calibers here. Blade stock thickness on this bad boy. Does have a compound grind on it and a flat on the Tanto part. 153 thousandths there. And behind the edge, you're looking at 19,000. So it goes down, you know, decently thin for such a big knife. And you're looking at 20, right around 27 thousandths there on this Tonto side of it. Handle thickness. This is the Jade G10, obviously, a little over half an inch, so no issues there. They do come with titanium, micarta, a bunch of other different variations. So let's get out size comparisons. We'll go ahead and do the Ontario Knives Rat Model 1 and the Ontario Rat 2. So definitely a knife that's more along the lines of the size of the Rat 1 for sure, you know. Get out the Demco or the Cold Steel 8010 compared to that and the 80-20.5 Demco knives. So definitely closer to the 8010, you know, not quite as bulky as the 8010, but pretty hefty. Actually, a bit good side-by-side comparison there, right? So, yeah, definitely the 8010 is a little bulkier, but, you know, not by too much. And last but not least, Spyderco Paramilitary 2, Spyderco Para 3. All right, so definitely a lot closer to the Paramilitary 2 than the Para 3. Fold them up. Got a frame lock on it, by the way, so that's kind of like what you're looking at sitting, you know, closed. Put that away. All right, we'll get the scale out. Where's the scale? Here we go. All right, so just holding it, kind of what it feels like. I would guess right around 4.2 ounces. That would be my guess. With, you know, and then, like I said, the titanium variant, you know, all the other variants, you know, probably vary, but that's just kind of what it feels like in my hand. So I'll go ahead and put it on there. Wow, 5.8. Definitely a lot heavier than I thought, for sure. So I guess that kind of speaks to, I don't know, ergonomics, I don't know, or my lack of being able to tell the weight pretty much. So, ounce and a half off. It's crazy. 5.8 ounces. Wow. Yeah, so definitely a knife that you're going to notice in the pocket, 100%, you know, no doubt about that. And where's the jeans at? This is one of the issues I had with this one. I love the way, a lot of people hate it. I love the way that this pocket clip looks. It looks awesome to me. I think it's pretty cool. But one thing is, it's very hard to get in pocket, and then once you get it in pocket, I don't really have an issue with the way that it sits. You know, I mean, it's not like deep carry by any means, you know, but it's not like you got like a ton, you know, sticking out. But it does kind of snag when you're trying to pull it out. You kind of hear it do that there, you know. It does kind of snag just a little bit whenever you go to pull it out of your pocket. You know, I mean, not like the worst pocket clip or any, you know, as far as the way it goes in and out that I've experienced by any means, but that's just something to be aware of right there for sure. All right, so I think I got all the specs out of the way, right? Unless I forgot to do something. I think that's it. So overall, man, I think this this knife is just awesome. It's a great knife. The things that I would have a gripe against with it would be the edges, like around here. These are pretty pointy, you know. They're not, I mean, it's not like it's gonna make you bleed when you run your finger over it or anything like that, but they are pointy edges, you know, so it's kind of, I guess, like blocky, you know. It's like holding a solid block, you know, and I guess that's a common thing with Chaves knives. I don't know, the Scapegoat seemed like a little less like that, but also a little like that. So that is something to keep in mind there, and the weight of it and the pocket clip. Hardware check, we need to do that. I definitely skipped over that. This is a T8, by the way. All right, so T8 on the pivot, T8 on the body screw, And pocket clip. T8, awesome, man. So it's right-handed, tip up carry, only, but definitely good that it's got that T8. It's not a captive pivot, so that's one thing to keep in mind, not a captive pivot. So you'll definitely need, two T8 bits to take it apart here and here, but at least they're T8s on everything else instead of T6s. So that's a good thing. Let me double check that lock bar. Yeah, that screws also T8. So that's good. Good, pretty good job on the hardware. Wish it was captive pivot, but the fact that it's T8 all the way around, all you'll need is one bit, not one bit, two bits. But one size. M390 on the blade there, as you can see right there. That's par for the course with a you know higher end knife, I guess. Definitely a decent standard, so no issues there. You've got some pretty deep jimping here, these three spots right here. That kind of helps whenever you're choked up. It feels really nice when you're choked up on it. And you can kind of put your finger on that flat there thanks to the fact that there's no flipper, right? Hollow grind going down here makes it slicey. This flat on the tip gives extra strength here. So that's pretty awesome. I like the way it looks. And there's not a whole lot of billboarding, a little bit, I mean, you got the Chaves logo right there. And you have Lee Williams kickstop right there, which is the kickstop technology I'm about to talk about. But other than that, not really a lot of billboard, and I think the pocket clip definitely does it for Chaves knives, right, as far as advertising goes. So the kickstop, what is the kickstop? I didn't ask, this is Mr. Eddie's, by the way, so I didn't ask Mr. Eddie if I could take this thing apart. I think I forgot to mention that in the intro, but obviously I think a lot of people assume when I'm looking at really nice higher end knives, a lot of times they're either Lanyard Man's or Mr. Eddie's, but this was lent to me by Mr. Eddie for this review, so I really appreciate that. But yeah, the kickstop is a pretty neat little deal, I think. I did not ask Mr. Eddie if I could take this knife apart, so that's why I'm not doing it. But whenever it's open, it doesn't fall out, right? Whenever it's closed, it's solid. So it's just like a normal flipper tab for all intents and purposes, but it is not connected to the blade, right? It's not part of the blade. So when you flip this Lee Williams kickstop, right, it opens up, and you can kind of see it right there whenever I do that. Well, let me go back. Flip it open. It will kind of move around, all right? You can kind of see it moving around a little bit in there. There you go. All right, so that moves freely until it's actuated, right? Until it's locked in. So that's an extra little piece in there. And once this flips over and it's locked like that, then that's locked in too. So it's not rattly. There's no rattling. You don't have to worry about that. It does kind of make a sound, which I think is pretty cool whenever you're opening it with the kickstop. Kind of a little more of a clinky clank kind of metallic sound, I guess, almost like an 8010, or not 8010, almost like a 8020.5 or 8020, but not quite the same. I don't know if the mic picks that up. So that's the sound of that piece of metal hitting that piece of metal and opening it up. But once it's open, it's solid. Once it's closed, it's solid. The only thing that that makes it move is your finger opening it up. And the action on this thing is really good. It runs on bearings. No issue with the action. I'm not flipping it especially hard to open it, and it's opening up just fine. Even pointed straight up, it opens just fine. Down, of course, no issues there. Now that is the only opening method, so that's something to keep in mind too. You know, if you like multiple deployment methods, this might not be your thing, but I think it's really neat. You know, it's definitely a unique kind of invention, I guess, in the knife world. So yeah, Lee Williams kick stop. I think it's pretty neat. So anyway, and it does have a little bit of jumping there on that tab too. So that is something worth mentioning. This is JG10. A lot of people like it because you can rip dye it, you know, different colors or whatever. Um, you know, I don't think it's bad. First time I ever saw it, I thought, well, hell, I bet that glows in the dark, but it doesn't. So, yeah. Anyway, I I think overall, you know, negatives on this thing. You do have some pointy, kind of sharp edges. Um, Not ultra sharp, but bricky, I guess would be the best. You know, they could have done some contouring and chamfering around here. Um, it would be good if it was a captive pivot on the hardware end of things. And I can't really think of too many other complaints right off the bat, man. This thing, the action on it's great. It's very ergonomic. You know, the hollow grind really nice. It does slice. It is a really good slicer, despite the fact that it's, you know, fairly heavy, which is another thing that some people would say is a negative. I wouldn't recommend this one if I was in gym shorts or a swimsuit or something like that. You know, um, but it is, if you're wearing, you know, jeans or whatever, I don't think that you would have an issue with this. And the pocket clip is kind of grabby, you know. Other than that, this is overall what I would say is a really good knife. And I think Chaves makes overall pretty good knives, you know. So that's pretty much it, y'all. If you want to buy this one, it would really help me out if you use the affiliate link down below. I'm going to have it in the description for BladeHQ. These are on sale right now for $199.99 on BladeHQ. This variant, I believe, is sold out with the Tonto, but they have the drop point, and I think they have the Tonto in some other variants, like with the micarta handle. There's a couple of different versions of the 229 on sale right now on BladeHQ. As of the time I'm posting this video, I think it's like their Father's Day sale. But yeah, definitely, if you're going to buy one anyway, it would really help me out if you did, you know, if you use the link down below. You don't have to, but it's just a little something extra that kind of helps me out, and I would appreciate it if you're already planning on buying it. You know, don't go out of your way to buy it just for me. So, yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it, y'all. Appreciate everyone watching. Like I said, appreciate everyone that's joined Patreon. You know, the channel's really taken off a lot quicker than I thought it would, and things are moving along really fast. So I appreciate everything, and I hope you guys have a good evening, morning, night, day, whenever the hell you're watching this, and I'll see you on the next one.